What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the locker room. Today we are doing episode 6, and we've got a very special guest joining us today. This man is known for his many talents on both the football field and the basketball court. For the football, this year he led Croatan to an 11-2 record, going all the way to the 4th round of the playoffs and earning all area honors by throwing for over 2,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. And if that's not enough for you, he is a star on the court as well, helping Croatan sit at a 20-7 record. He's averaging 20, 26, 9-3 a game, and he just broke the school's all-time scoring record. Welcome to the locker room, Kannon McBride.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me. This is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, man. Thank you. We've been talking about this, trying to get this in the works for a little bit. You obviously are a good buddy of my best friend Josh, and he put us in contact. And it just seems like every time that we were going to do something, you were always doing something else to stack up onto it.
Yeah.
So. But I wanted to start this thing off for sure. I knew this was what I wanted to ask you first about what I mentioned, that all-time scoring record.
Yes, sir.
You broke it last night. The official mark was, I believe it was 1,508, right? That was the mark, right?
That's what I finished with. Yeah. I only had to get like 4 points last night to get it. So
yeah. And I think the biggest thing to take away from it is that you're still going to go. You're obviously a junior, so you still got so much time left to play, and you're obviously just going to help build that number even more and more. But take me to that moment specifically, because I know you knew as soon as when you broke it. Just take me into that moment right then last night. You break it. What was that feeling like?
yeah. So I mean, coach was like, he told me, he's like, you're gonna score, you're gonna get it. So I mean, don't try to force it and get it right away. But and honestly, I didn't score the whole first quarter, so it was like, all right, maybe. We need to, start focusing up a little bit because as a team, we were not playing well at the moment. But, so I got to the free throw line the first time and I'm like, okay, next bucket, that's going to be it. And, something happened. It was like a rebound kick out 3 and I hit a 3 at the exact same spot. I hit my 1,000 point. So, I mean, that was kind of like a full circle moment. And, yeah, it's just awesome because, like just been working for it since I've been a little kid. And, that's like always been one of my goals. And yeah, like you mentioned, only being a junior, we can still build from that.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of give a little insight. This episode will release a little bit later, a little bit under a week after we're recording from right now. But you guys obviously lost by 1 point to Havelock last night. It was I'm sure everybody saw the video that every news article posted. You even sent me the video of we thought you tied it. Well, you just told me off camera that you knew you were on the line, but the scoreboard showed that it was tied. So you guys did not foul, but even though you did suffer a loss, you guys still earned a bye.
Yes, sir.
So you guys will skip the first round games, which will happen this past Tuesday, because this episode will come out Friday. So this past Tuesday, and you'll pick it back up Thursday against whoever wins the game that is scheduled to play all after that. But kind of going into the playoffs, what's kind of the feeling like for you and maybe even the team, with seeing as much success you guys have had, just wanting to try and carry that into the playoffs?
Yeah, just obviously after taking a tough loss like that going in, it's going to be a challenge, trying to get the guys rallied back together. But we all season we've had that bounce back mentality. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think we've lost 2 in a row.
Yeah.
So we're always going to answer. Our coach, Coach Humphrey, does a great job with us, always making sure mentally we're locked in. And yeah, whoever we play, we don't know who it's going to be yet, but just know we're going to be prepared. We're going to come out fighting because after that feeling on last night, we're not going to let that happen away and let it slip away from us, especially on our home court.
Yeah.
We got to protect that. I think one of the teams we're playing with is going to have to travel far, so we can use that to our advantage, jump on them early. And yeah, anything can happen. It's just trying to go on a deep run. So yeah.
Absolutely. Before we kind of guide back into talking, because we'll talk both football and basketball, I wanted to I love to use this as a platform for players to kind of speak about themselves, because I feel like they don't get that opportunity enough. A lot of people just see what they see on the court or on the fields, whatever that is. So the first question I'm going to ask kind of just about you is, for people who may not know who Kannon McBride is outside of Croatan basketball or Croatan football, Who is Kannon McBride?
Honestly, I feel like I'm a little bit of an introvert, I'm kinda, like, keep to myself a lot,
Yeah,
not very, like, talkative or loud, just kind of staying quiet, always gonna, you know, I'll be doing something within sports, just watching sports,
yeah,
sports is a large part of my life, so, I'm always gonna be working, staying true to my faith in God, that's a big part of my life too.
absolutely.
Always just trying to do the right things when nobody's watching and, um, yeah, try to be the best person I can and, show that on the court as well with like sportsmanship and everything, not trying to be too crazy, during the games and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said before, a lot of people know that you're both you play both football and basketball, but when did you realize for yourself that you had the potential to just excel at both the sports? And really, what has been the mentality for you that you want to just get as good as you can for to really just get as far as you can with either football or basketball?
Yeah, well, football, came a little later, but like I really actually started with soccer.
Yeah,
So it was soccer and basketball, big time for me. But so you know, really played a little bit of flag football when I was little, and um, slowly started transition to thinking, maybe I should start looking more into this because, there's a future there for me, especially as a quarterback and being a soccer player, being a kicker as well. So you can kind of knock out two birds with one stone with one sport. So, just like everybody around me is always told me like the, you don't like how are you doing both like at the same time sometimes
right.
at a high level, but just, if you always find time to just work, so in the summers, it's like you gotta go to basketball practice and football, it's a lot, but, that's the work you gotta put in to get the results you wanna get.
Yeah. When you were growing up and kind of figuring out your paths a little bit, which sport kind of stuck out more, football or basketball, or if there
Definitely
was another one?
definitely basketball, I mean, I've played it, like, my whole life, so it was always the most fun, it's always inside, so it's not gonna be outside in the
Yeah.
hot or the cold, so you don't ain't gotta worry about that. But definitely basketball. I played a lot of travel basketball when I was little. Just playing with my friends, it was a lot of fun, and, like, they're all graduating now, so that's a tough pill to swallow, but, yeah, I'd say definitely basketball.
Yeah, for sure. Who, as you've been kind of going through now at your junior year, has there been anybody for you that's been an influence for you, whether it was whether it's been in basketball, football, or just anything? Who are some of maybe your influences?
Yeah, for football, I mean, obviously for both sports, my dad's always there for me. Like he didn't coach football for a long time, decided to come back this year just because I fully committed to football this year. So, he's always there for me in every moment, supporting me, helping me when he needs to, and yeah, just always there for me. And then especially my head coach, he was like a big believer in me. Some people, didn't think I was able to play quarterback at the level I was able to, but I feel like he always knew, since my freshman year that I was gonna be able to step into that role and take that on. So, he's been there for me, as my head coach. And then, my basketball head coach as well, Coach, John Humphrey, I think he's the hardest working coach, I've ever had. He's going through the game plans every week, no matter, like, who we're playing. We could be playing, like, the worst team, and he's watching, like, hours and hours of film.
Yeah,
So and, he's always gonna be hard on me, but I know he's just preparing me for what's gonna come at the next level. So, yeah, those 3 are definitely the ones that are at the top, for my influences in the
yeah,
sports.
absolutely,
Yeah.
man. Well, before we jump on the back on the basketball side of things, I want to talk about football
Mhm.
because you guys absolutely it was a great season for y'all in football. I had the opportunity to sadly see y'all play because I was there on the other sideline.
Yeah.
It was definitely a down game for us to sit through and watch that, but I really got a chance to see what other people I feel like were failing to get to know at that point, and that was how good that team was
Mhm.
just in general. You guys had some absolute athletes, and I feel bad for him slipping off the top of my head, but you'll be able to correct me. I believe I just saw one of your guys. He just committed to ECU.
Oh, yeah, Riley Robinson, yeah.
Yeah, so that just, I mean, goes to prove how good that team is. You guys, the production that you guys were able to do. But looking back at the football season that you guys had this past year, what would you say you were most proud of?
Just proud of everybody coming together. We've had that group since, our middle school team when I was in 7th grade, and that class was in 8th grade. We knew, like, if we stayed together, we can be so special, and that's the word our coaches use to describe our season throughout the year is, like, "Guys, this is special." Like, this is something we should not take for granted, and I'm just so proud of, like, all of my teammates just for grinding every single day and just being together, like, we would hang out every week together, I'm just, like, that's a brotherhood, like, you're never gonna get back, so, yeah, I'm just proud of how united we were as a team, and that really translated to us being successful on the field.
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, you of course were the quarterback, getting all area honors and everything. But what part of your game as quarterback would you say took the biggest jump this year?
Well, obviously, I played this year, so
Yes.
I mean, as a sophomore and freshman, I didn't really get as many reps, but I think I put on a little bit more muscle mass on me, my body filled out a little bit, still can add on to that, but, I think just being more of that leader and like you want your quarterback to be, and just, trusting the work that we put in and being able to I think I did a great job, especially towards the end of the season, just staying in the pocket and being able to deliver throws under pressure, even when, you got the kid from Havelock who's committed to JMU going up to the
Yeah.
middle, he's going to be there. So I was very proud of myself for being able to withstand some of that pressure and being able to deliver the ball in time. I think, if I in those moments, even if I played those last 2 years, I don't think I've been able to do that. But
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. As I was talking about before, talking more about the team um, aspect of it, and the fact that you guys really had
Yeah.
some great dudes on that team. How was it for you as a quarterback knowing that you had certain guys that could go out there and literally go through anything? I mean, off the top of my head, I remember we when we were playing y'all, you threw a pass to one of your receivers, and I can't remember. It might have been Josh who hit him, but he hit him right in the legs
Yeah.
in the end zone, and he did
Oh,
an
yeah.
actual front flip, and he still scored. And I literally was just I was speechless for about 15 seconds. Like, it was crazy. But for you as a quarterback, how does that make you feel, and how confident does that how much confidence does that give you to know that, okay, yeah, I can trust these guys and throw the ball anywhere, and
Yeah.
I know that they're going to have a shot at it?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say, like, you look all across the field, you have playmakers everywhere, so that makes my job really easy, and, obviously, Riley, he's a
Yep.
like, having him as a receiver, like, it's you just throw the ball up there, and he's gonna go get it. Imma miss him next year, but, like, even our running back, Andrew Boucher, he we would put him in the lot out wide. I trust him every time I throw the ball to him. That kid that made that catch, JP,
Yeah.
he was a running back for us last year, but he came in and at receiver and really stepped up. I think he was, like, 2nd in receiving touchdowns this year.
Right.
But, yeah, just being able to have big time players in every single position, you can't ask for more than that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Now, aside from being a quarterback, most people will go in, and if they look at the all area team, they'll notice that you weren't the quarterback specifically. It was, of course, 3J, who is a former locker room guest. Shout out to him. But you're listed as an athlete, and that's because you were the team's kicker as
Yep.
well. And I mean, I mean, I feel like most people would sit here and be like, "You're kidding me. He's quarterback, and he's so great at basketball, and he can kick now too." Where did kicking come from, and just how did you kind of all of a sudden just realize that, yeah, as much as I play sports with my hands, I can also do it with my feet?
Just, obviously playing soccer my whole life, and then coming into middle school, I was like, "You know what? Why not try to kick the football?" And then, so then my freshman and sophomore year, I actually played soccer and football at the same time. I just kicked, for football.
Right.
So, that was kinda all I did, and then my junior year, last year, it was like, well, now I'm playing quarterback, gotta do both, so, um, it's just playing a lot of soccer that helps a lot, and, honestly, it's probably gonna be, like, probably what I'm looking at doing in college because not a lot of people are into that, and I think I could do it at a high level for any program that in the country that wants me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I can go ahead and assure you and say you've definitely got
yeah.
a leg on
Yes,
you.
sir.
And I say that not trying to boost your ego anymore, but you guys, like I said, finished 11-2. It was a fantastic season. You made it all the way to the fourth round. You guys suffered a loss to Hunt, who went on and went to the state championship. But looking back at that whole entire season and looking back at that team, what would you say made that team so special?
Hmm. Um, just I said it before, but the brotherhood, like, we were such a tight group, and I'm so proud because they were the 1 seed. It was freezing cold that night. We went in there full confidence that we were gonna be able to win that game, and, we got a lead early, and then they came back at the end, and we were right in it till the very end, and I'm just proud we never quit, like, no matter who we were playing, it was the week before Havelock, we didn't quit. We knew that like, we the sky was the limit for us, but it just came up just short, but, I'm gonna be proud of those guys forever just for how hard we fought and that we never quit and how close we were as a group.
Yeah, for sure. I want this next question. I'm kind of change it up a little bit,
Mm,
but I have it specifically down to Hunt, but I want to ask you just from a season standpoint because you are a junior and you're gonna have one more season. What was the biggest takeaway for you from this past season that you'll take into next year?
the biggest takeaway is, we wanna get back to that moment, and we're gonna be able to capitalize on that moment. No matter how many seniors we're losing, we know we got a tight group, a good group that will be coming back, and, we don't wanna have that feeling again, that heartbroken feeling. Um, so, yeah, we're just taking that away, and it's just extra motivation to work in the off season, like, we're gonna remember this, and then this is our senior season, like, this is our last shot at it, so it's either now or never. So, there's gonna be a lot of motivation in the off season, coming up very shortly here. So, yeah, I'm gonna be very excited.
Yeah, for sure. So, like I mentioned, with one season left, what are the biggest areas for you specifically that you want to improve? Just, and I'll say as a football player in
Mhm.
general.
Being my first year as a quarterback, I took a small step into the leadership role. I think as a senior, I need to take that even further. I need to hold everybody accountable, offense, defense, special teams, no matter what it is. That's always something I can improve on. And then just, I would say, you know, like, as a quarterback wise, I want to be able to run the ball a little bit more. So, getting a little faster and stronger in the weight room this summer. I'm going to be working hard and hopefully add a few more yards to my kicks as well. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. I feel like that's the answer I always get whenever I interview quarterbacks is like,
yeah,
I want to run the ball more. But
yeah.
so, of course, you have to manage both playing football and basketball. But for you, it's especially harder, I know, for you because once football season's over with, you jump right into
Yeah.
basketball. There is no break. How do you manage, try, or at least try to manage, being able to play football and basketball at such a high level when you don't have, that much of a break?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of it's taking care of your body, eating the right foods, especially in the summer when you're doing both. Just, yeah, eating the right foods, making sure, you're lifting, your patterns stay the same so you're not, sore on game days or whatever. Our strength coaches do a great job with me with that. Um, but yeah, I mean, just like being able to sorry, I'm blanking out a little bit.
You're good.
Um, what was the question again?
So just trying to balance both football and basketball at such a high level, just
Yeah,
what goes into it for you?
just, like so it was like summertime, football in the mornings, and then immediately, like right after, so I'm already at school, so like why
Yeah.
not just knock them both out at the same time, can't skip any days for any sports. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. I feel like it's especially talking about that no break because football, I feel like just that off season, like it extends so much.
I
Like, because
know.
I feel like as soon as you're done with basketball, you might get a little bit of a break, but
You're
all
in
of a
spring
sudden,
workout.
you're in spring workouts and FCA camp rolls
Yeah.
around and all that summer workouts. So yeah, I see what you're talking about for sure. But so I feel like there are maybe ways that, and this is what I'll ask you, but there might be ways that the two sports help each other to where it makes you better at one thing that you maybe didn't think of. But for you, what are the ways that the two sports maybe help each other and just help you in general, keeping you in shape and everything like that?
Yeah, I mean, basketball shape and football shape, it's way different. I
Yes.
figured that out, as soon as I came back onto the basketball court this year. It took me about probably like a week or 2 to really get back into it, especially as a quarterback, you're not running that much, but,
Right.
um, I mean, footwork has a lot to do with it. I think as especially well, I'll bring in soccer to this too, like,
Yeah.
that's a lot of footwork, but then, like, as a quarterback, your feet in the pocket, I feel like that can translate to, trying to s fit between defenders in basketball, like, with your dribbling moves and everything, and, like, I don't run as much, but if you're running, you gotta make guys miss, and I sometimes feel that dribbling down in transition, getting around people, hitting some spin moves, so, yeah, that's the ways I can translate.
Yeah. So I kind of mentioned how the football off season, there's a lot that goes into off season for football. And it makes me wonder kind of what is that off season like for basketball and like, how do you stay ready for that? So for you, when you're kind of in that off season phase for both sports, how do you stay, ready with the both sports while, and this could also be when it's the middle of football season, you're still trying to stay, prepared for basketball. So what does off-season training look like for you to prepare for both sports?
Yeah, so, I mean, this upcoming off season is it's probably gonna be more football for me, just 'cause, it's probably what I'm gonna try to end up doing in college, not ruling basketball out, but,
Absolutely.
um just gonna try to go to more camps, and normally I'd go and play, travel basketball with a AAU team, but I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with that this year. I'll probably just end up going to more, like, camps for football. But, we're gonna have the ECI, big tournament for our school team in June, and, obviously FCA camp, and that's, like, back to back, so
Yeah.
that's gonna be a stretch for me. Um but, just honestly, like, the big thing for me, I'm gonna keep myself accountable is staying in the weight room and working on my speed and strength because 'cause that'll go with you until college, like, you can just keep building on that as no matter what sport it is. So, I mean, just continuing to work on myself physically is gonna be the big thing for me this off season.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're having to play and work like you are, I can only imagine how hard it is for you to stay focused. So mentally for you, how do you stay locked in year round?
I mean, just the goals you set for yourself, at the beginning of each season, I'll ask myself, like, where do I wanna be? Like, if I was to go to the end of the year, what would I be like? "Okay, I'm proud of myself, and I've got to where I've wanted to be, that I've set myself to be." Um, so yeah, just, setting goals for yourself is very important, um, and, to continue that. So, like, your goals can if it's 26 points per game this year, I wanna get to 30 next year.
Yeah.
So, just to never be satisfied and to always keep pushing and keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great answer. All right. So now I like to call this the fun segment or the
Yeah,
fun questions. I kind of just this is how I give the guys on an interview maybe a little bit of a brain break
yeah,
from it. But we're gonna start. And you'll be familiar with this. I call this the 2 minute drill. So the 2 minute drill, obviously, people know for football, you're down the wire, everything's quick and everything. So this is my version of rapid fire
okay,
questions, and I have a list. It's 1 through 100
okay,
questions, and they don't have anything to do with basketball or football or sports, anything like that. It's just kind of just simple questions. So, and I'm going to set 2 minutes on my phone, a little clock, and you're going to pick five numbers, one
alright,
through 100, and it'll be spaced out. You just pick a number. I'll ask you the question, you answer it, and your goal, obviously,
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Do it within 2 minutes. You ready, man?
Let's go.
All right, we'll start in three, two, 1. What is your first number?
Number 4.
Number 4. Are you a sweet guy or are you a salty guy?
Definitely a sweet guy.
Okay. What's your next number?
Let's go 23.
23. Sneakers or slides?
Ooh. I'm gonna go sneakers on that one.
Okay. What's your third number?
Let's go 30.
30. What's one thing you always overthink? It's a tough
It
question.
is a tough question. I would say time's ticking.
You're doing good right now.
I know. Probably just like my superstitions, like what to wear on game days and stuff like that.
Okay, that's actually fair. That's a very fair. That's valid.
Yeah.
What's your fourth number?
Let's go 67.
67. You had to do it. Dadgummit. Favorite quote or saying?
If you ain't first, you're last.
I
Ricky
love
Bobby.
It. There you go. What's your last number?
Let's go 99.
99. What is one word your friends would use to describe you?
I couldn't say what they would say, but I'll say my friends would describe me as
You got 30 seconds.
They'd probably call me just annoying.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. That's kind of depressing, but well. Hey, you know what? You did it. You completed the 2-minute drill with 25 seconds left to spare. So congratulations to you for completing the 2-minute drill. But the next fun segment that I have is I call this gas station pick me up, and this is my personal favorite. The scenario that I give guys is you're on a long car ride and who knows how much it is, but like right in the middle, you or your parents stop and you're filling up your car, just this and that, and you want to go inside of the gas station, you want to grab a little snack, a little pick me up. So I tell guys to pick one drink and a snack. It can be candy, it can be chips, anything like that. So what is Kannon McBride's pick me up?
All right, so I would have to go with. It's like these packets of glazed donuts that I always pick those up at the gas station.
Okay.
And then either a strawberry banana body armor or it's like these probably just Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a Arizona sweet tea.
Okay. You're not the first guy to give me strawberry banana body armor. I'm a big body armor guy too, but I've never really been on the Arizona train, even though I love an Arnold Palmer, but I don't know. I've never been, but okay. That's great. I love asking that because guys always give unique answers and it gives me something to try and everything, but that's valid. All right. So this one kind of ties into sports, but I think it's a fun question to ask for you. And this is you by default you get multiple answers at this for both sports, but if you had the ability to pick your dream college to go play football and basketball at, and then also potentially dream NFL and NBA places too, obviously NFL football, NBA basketball, but what would be your dream college for both sports if there's a different college, and then your dream NFL team and your dream NBA team?
Yeah, so I mean, I actually came very prepared for this. So dream college would be obviously the University of North Carolina.
My man, yes.
We got the Drake May jersey on right now.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, my dad was a walk-on there.
Okay.
So he played football there. So he'd want me to go there. But
that was my sneaky pick for you because I always see you reposting this stuff too. And so everything. So just keeping my fingers crossed. But yeah, absolutely.
NFL team, the Carolina Panthers. I'm a diehard Carolina Panthers fan.
Yes.
I went to the playoff game this year. It was electric. So, hopefully we can continue that trend.
Got something to build on now.
I know Bryce Young. We love Bryce Young around here.
So you're on the Bryce Young.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Other people that I record with, Chris Rayner, who's a big Panther fan, they do not believe in Bryce Young, but I'm also a believer in Bryce Young.
Better, so I mean,
absolutely. You can't fault a guy for getting. You can't fault him for getting back to the playoffs. But okay, yeah. So dream college is Carolina.
Yeah.
So that's great. Your dream NFL team is Carolina Panthers. Do you have a dream NBA
My
team?
NBA team, it's gonna be a random pick, and people call me bandwagon, but I've actually loved the Oklahoma City Thunder since I was probably 7 or 8 years old. I played, my first video game, like, my dad gave me to play, it was, like, called NBA Jam,
Okay.
and I would always pick the Thunder because they had, like, James Harden and Russell Westbrook and Kevin
Katie.
Durant, and so
Yes.
I've been a Thunder fan for a while now, and even when they sucked for, like, I don't know how many years, they had, like, the CP3 era and
Right,
everything,
right.
and now they're on tops, and everybody's calling me a bandwagon. I'm like, "Come on now." So, definitely OKC Thunder.
That's fair. That's fair, man. All right, that's cool. That's cool. All right, so kind of sticking to basketball, let's talk about
Yes, sir.
basketball now because that is the current sport that we're in, and I just hope that you guys are still doing just as good when this episode releases here in a little bit under a week. So we mentioned before, we kind of talked about earlier, you broke the all-time scoring record last night against Havelock. We briefly mentioned it earlier. You reached 1,000 points, I believe. It was early on. You're
Yeah.
maybe the third or fourth game of the
Yeah, it was,
season.
like, early in conference, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Is there anything else that any goals? Because you mentioned how goals are a big thing to you. It seems like you've just done everything now. But what's now the next big goal for you to chase now?
For basketball, well, it was 2,000 earlier, but now I'm looking at 2,500,
Yeah.
set the bar even higher. Um, I think realistically, it could happen. I'd have to have a really good senior season. But, yeah, is that just for basketball or
You
football?
can answer it for football too.
Football,
Absolutely.
just I wanna I wanna continue what we built on last year. I don't wanna regress at all, especially it being my senior year. So, definitely gonna get the guys motivated and, hopefully go even further than we did last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you're obviously a scoring freak. It seems like you're dropping 30 every single night for the most part, but what part of your game do you think makes you so difficult to guard or just difficult to contain?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it every night I'm gonna get face guarded, so, I think what's hard for people to withstand that is they don't have the stamina. I'm running off of probably 2 or 3 screens every play.
Yeah.
They gotta be running with me as well. So probably, like, the first quarter, they got a bunch of energy, they can do it. Come later in the game, they're getting tired, they get kinda lazy and, sometimes I'm able to, get some wide open looks. So, yeah, I think that's the part that makes it, pretty difficult.
Yeah, for sure. Now, obviously, all the accolades have seemingly fell on this year, but so what maybe do you think has been the biggest thing for you that has gotten your game, you playing basketball to the way that it is now? What jumps off the page is like, yes, I got better by doing this compared to maybe last year
Yeah,
or your freshman year,
yeah.
whatever it was, to where you are now.
Definitely, I can see every year my physicality, being able to just go get a rebound. I think I get like 6 or 8 points every game just of offensive rebounds.
Yes.
I tell people that all the time, like, if you're trying to score, just go crash the glass. You can probably get 10 points a game just off of that. So, yeah, just my physicality, being able to not just be a three-point shooter. I think my freshman year, I shot, like, I think, like, 80% of my field goal attempts were threes, but, this year last year it was a smaller transition. I think my sophomore to junior year was even bigger transition. I'm not hitting as many threes, but that's because people are running off the line and I'm able to attack to the basket and, get to the line a lot more, which is able to, produce the points that I'm getting right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. This is just a kind of a question that popped up to me, but when you're kind of viewed as, and I say this, you know, humbly to you,
Mhm.
but when people think of Croatan basketball, I think they obviously think of you. But what's maybe, as a junior, I'm sure you've already evolved into a leader. But so what's kind of the things that you're telling your guys that just to have them staying focused and trying to get the best out of them as well whenever you're out there, giving it 100% every single
Yeah,
night.
I would let them know, like, you got to play free. Obviously, I'm scoring what I'm scoring, but that doesn't mean that you guys can't go out and do your own thing as well. Which try to emphasize that to try to get more options in the offense. So because if they if they start hitting shots, that's gonna open up more things for me.
Yeah.
So just making sure everybody's, not complacent with what their role is right now, because I'm gonna try to get your role to be bigger, so that could help me out even more, and we're gonna be even better as a team. Because defenses aren't just gonna be able to key in on me the entire time. They're gonna have to be like, okay, this kid's hitting shots, so maybe we can't go double him here. We're gonna have to stay on the shooters outside. So just making sure they're fully confident in their abilities and they're able to do their own things alongside with me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Kind of the getting away from the playing side of it, but the coaching side. Your coach is maybe the most animated coach
Yeah.
that I've seen so far out of all the teams that I've watched play basketball. But it's cool. I love it. I
Yeah.
love to see as much energy that he brings off. But not just even about him, but just the coaching staff in general. What is really, the big thing that they are telling you guys that really gets y'all fired up and gets y'all going and really gets the best out of every single one of y'all every night?
I think they remind us every day like how good we could be, we could easily have won, I think, all of the games we lost. Like we've never I don't think we've lost by more than 10 points all
Yeah,
season. So like they'd tell us like we were just a few plays away from being, who knows, undefeated.
yeah,
Like, but then we're also a few plays away from losing a few games as well.
absolutely.
So, they just tell us like if we just focus on the small details, boxing out, helping when somebody gets beat, helping the helper. Coach Hump, he played professionally overseas, so he knows what he's talking about. So, making sure everybody's like dialed in and listening to him, because nobody like you're. I don't think anybody on the team's gonna talk to anybody who knows more basketball than he does. So obviously, just listen to him. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. So as we mentioned before, where we sit right now, this is the biggest time of the
yeah,
basketball calendar. You're going into playoffs, right? Coming right off of conference tournament. Like these are where the biggest games of the season start to get played. So in this time period where a lot of people maybe are that some guys get tired and they feel like they're maybe not that their team's not producing the way that they want to, and as big as these games are, it's very easy for guys to seemingly give up and be just done and everything. But for you guys especially, what is the thing that's keeping y'all going and going into the playoffs? What is just the team's mindset in general going into the playoffs?
just we there's no more forgiveness on games. Like if you lose, you're done.
Yeah,
Especially for the seniors, they're gonna be done too. So this week we played 4 games. We won 2, we lost 2. The 2 we lost were for championships, regular season and conference tournament. So just we've put ourselves in positions to win those type of games. We just, a few plays away from making it happen. So being able to, let off that frustration going into the playoffs, I think, not saying the loss was good, but like the loss was be able to reset, refocus on what we need to get better at, and carry on to the playoffs. And I'm excited because I really think we got a good shot to do something special here.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And kind of speaking about that feeling of having the ability to do something special, what has to happen for Croatan in order for that deep run to happen and for you guys to ultimately be able to be playing your games at, Greenville or Lenore Ryan where the regionals are at, and then hopefully get back to Wake Forest where the state championship is at? What has to happen for Croatan to make that big push?
Just stay locked in on defense every single play. Coach tells us all the time, if even if our shots aren't falling, we can control them not scoring as well. So, just playing as one. I think sometimes when things get heated in the games, we try to go one on one and we get away from running our offense and everything. And um, our coach lets us know that. So, just staying locked in. Communicating, that's what we need to do a lot better, especially on defense, making sure everybody's in the right spots because we switch defenses a lot. We're going
Right.
man zone, you know. So I think if we play the way we know we can play, which is running our offense, because our offenses are we have so many offenses, along with our defenses. So like we have so many options. If we can just get everybody rolling at the same time, like you know, uh, point guard Tyler Thorpe, he had 22 points off 6 threes the other night against West Carteret.
Right.
If we can add that along to what I'm doing, and then one of our bigs, catch fire, give us like 10 points or 8 rebounds. just sparks like that, and then put it all together, it's gonna be special.
Absolutely. Um, I want to kind of dive into the maybe the future for you, and obviously I know maybe that's hard to think about sometimes, considering where you're playing every day, and b you are only a junior, but it is about that time where you're going to get looked at for sure, and you're going to go play ball somewhere, whether it is football like you said or potentially basketball, who knows. But is there any sort of feedback that you're hearing from maybe some college coaches now, and some of the things that they're telling you that is helping you prepare to ultimately be able to take that next step to hopefully go play college somewhere?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about on the ride here, I was like, "Dang, this is really the end of my junior season for basketball." Like, hopefully not soon, but,
Yeah,
like, I'm about to be a senior, like, this is surreal. So, just looking at the next level, I've sent my film out to a lot of coaches that, they've said, like, "No, we're not looking at juniors right now, we're trying to get our senior classes up." But, the ones that have talked to me, they actually have, like, real interest, and, um, they're staying in touch. So I just think, obviously, I think every coach sees that I need to get stronger, which I'll be able to do this summer, to be able to withstand the contact you're gonna get at the physical level. I mean, but if you're a kicker, I guess it's not that big of a deal.
right.
So, just I'm gonna go to a lot more college stuff, this upcoming summer for probably both sports. So, I'm still a little new into it. I'm not like all in it right now. Just trying to focus on my high school seasons right now. But yeah, I'm excited for whatever comes to
Yeah,
happen.
for sure. So you mentioned how you obviously are maybe leaning a little bit towards football and kicking
Yeah.
potentially, but that door for basketball is always going to be open.
Mhm.
What is there maybe any difference in recruiting for both? Because obviously, I'm assuming
Yeah.
you're recruiting for both sports. What are kind of the differences in maybe having to recruit for football and having to recruit for basketball?
Yeah, I think, basketball, the position I play, a lot of the higher level guys are what, like 6'6".
Right.
They're um, a lot more. And then the transfer portal, that changes everything. So,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of guys around here, they're having to go JUCO for 2 years and then transfer out of there to try to find somewhere higher to play. And then, I've been more in the recruiting stuff for basketball because I thought that's what I wanted to do. But then after this season for football, I'm trying to rethink a little bit. So, yeah, I think, um, going into it, I think my best chance is kicking. I think I could walk into somewhere, at a high level and do that. And, I'm not gonna put down being a quarterback either. I'm still gonna try to do that.
Absolutely.
So, we got a lot of options, and it's gonna be a tough decision because I know, like, if I don't know how I'm gonna be able to give up one of those, but, that time's gotta come, and yeah, you're right. It's gonna be here soon. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely. You mentioned the process of how different recruiting is now for
yeah,
trying to, seeing the way that, for high school athletes, I really talk about how much it screws over
yeah,
some of them, where most of the time they'd have the ability to go to maybe a low D1 or potentially somewhere out of high school, where now it's like teams will just pay to
yeah.
go grab whoever. So asking you this question, does that kind of scare you at all? Consider or make you rethink how the process is going to go, or do you just kind of are like, okay, that's fine. You just have to adapt and kind of work off
Yeah.
the way that the college world is revolving now.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably nothing that's gonna change it. It is what it is. So you
Yeah,
just gotta live with it. It should just make you work even harder because, you're instead of competing against kids your age, you're competing against what, 23, 24, 25-year-olds.
absolutely.
So, I mean, that should just push everybody to work even harder because, it definitely got a lot harder, like you said. Just coming straight out of high school. Like, some colleges, they don't even take high school kids
Yeah,
anymore, which is, like, crazy to think about. So, that world has changed a lot, and, the best thing you can do is just put your head down and go to work because
yeah.
nothing you can do about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, obviously, before you get there, you have to have your senior year.
Mhm.
And I don't want to obviously breeze past what could still happen this year for you,
Yeah.
but this is the biggest year of your high school career will be hopefully, next year whenever you're playing
Mhm.
both sports. So, what kind of goals do you have set for both, maybe overall for football and overall for basketball and just your senior year in general?
Yeah, just continuing to grow and being the leader and just being a good like role model for the younger kids that are going to be taking our spots soon enough. So, just trying to finish what I've started here. Just staying true to Croatan and finishing it out. It's going to be for football. Hopefully the hype stays on with us and um, I know there's nothing like high school football, especially your senior year.
Yeah.
It's gonna be special. So, it is a little like underwhelming, like, this is it, but let's go out all out for it.
Yeah.
And, let's see what could happen and just enjoy and take in every single second of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So there are two parts to this question that I want to ask you about, and it's about the legacy that you want to leave behind. And the first part that I will ask you is the legacy that you want to leave behind with the people that play with you or the people that coach you in whichever sport it is. When you're obviously, like I briefly mentioned before, you are obviously a leader at this point, but after next year comes and goes, what is the legacy that you want to be remembered for by them, and what is the one thing that you want them to remember about you, and that thing that they can hold on to so that way they can use it for their game?
Just honestly, even off the court, just to be a good person, don't, try to get too amped up, whether that's in the game or off the court with anybody, um, to always do the right thing when nobody's looking. Even if somebody's coming at you, just if they're saying something to you, it's because they're not where you're at. And, just you just gotta continue to put your head down. And, if you put the work in, like you can do anything, like, especially for Croatan, I'm hoping, like, even when we leave, they're still having some success
Yeah.
after we leave. So, just being able to, just being known as that good, hardworking guy that's, always gonna do everything he wants to win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And then the second part of the question that I was going to ask is just for the general people, the people who won't have the opportunity to play with you or, be part of even in school or anything like that. But when people look back and, see what you were able to do during your high school career, what is the legacy that you want people to remember you for overall at Croatan?
Just, being able to when I came in as a freshman, both programs were, not at their best,
Yeah.
basketball, I think the year before, so my 7th grade year, they were 1-20.
Yeah.
Just being able to know that when I came in and when I left, the programs were at a very much better spot than where they were when I came in. So, just knowing like, just yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. So this is the last question. This is the infamous last question that I always ask people whenever they come on the show. Because I truly think that reflection is such a big and important thing
Mhm.
to have in life, and to really have the ability to sit back and grasp what you're able to have, what you have in life. And for you, I want to ask you, just what are three things in life that you're currently thankful for?
First, just thankful for God and my relationship with Jesus Christ. Without them, we're all nothing.
Yeah.
Um, and then second, my family. My family's all of them are at every single game supporting me, no matter if we win or lose. They're always going to be there. So that they're my rock. And then honestly, third, just going to be like my teammates in the school. The school has shown up um, a lot. Like every football game, every Friday night home basketball game, it's always a packed crowd, and I'm thankful that we're able to bring that many people out to games and to have fun and just watch us do our thing every night, and just the atmosphere that's created with that. I'm very thankful for um, all my teammates and friends at school and all the fans at Croatan.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, this was awesome to
Yes,
do,
sir.
and I cannot wait to see what you guys are able to do. I'm hoping that I'll maybe hopefully be able to get out there and see another Croatan game. Hopefully this playoff,
Sure.
this season so far, we'll see what baseball looks like and if it'll free me up. But with you being a junior for sure, I would look forward to hopefully maybe doing this a little part 2 to your senior
Okay.
year
Yes, sir.
if we can do that. So, but the best of luck to you guys
Sure.
in the rest of the way of the playoffs, and then obviously I know that you guys will keep it up in football and basketball to come. But thank you again for doing this for sure, and then thank you to you guys for watching. This was episode 6 of the Locker Room with special guest Kannon McBride, and we will see you guys next time. All right, dude.
Awesome.
That was awesome. Thank you, man.
I appreciate it.
This was great. I'm glad we finally got to.
I know we can make it work.
Yeah, man. Shut this thing off.
How'd your baseball thing go yesterday?
So it was hilarious.